Welcome to SortaOkay Reviews, where every fandom's welcome. I'm Nathan Bedard,
I'm Brad Newton.
and today we got another show.
Yep, welcome back to the Sorta Anything show. I don't even know what episode we're on anymore because I think we've tried to do this the show at least once or twice. I know for a fact there was one we did about a week and a half ago that just ended up being too long, so YouTube wouldn't process it for us. Maybe I'll go back and edit that one down a bit, and maybe we'll just call it the lost episode or something. But yeah, last week our main topic was just the PS5 and iPhone 12. We might mention it again briefly here, but we'll probably skip over that for this week. But yeah, so what have we been doing today?
Well, so today I decided, you know what? I was in the mood. I felt like I had some stuff I had to do today. I was like, you know what? Let me start a vlog. Let me do a little vlog today, because today is, as most of you may know, voting day. And
the day we're recording this, yeah.
Yep, the day we're recording this. This is
November 3rd.
November 3rd. Now, in no way, shape, or form are we going to get political, and we're not going to say who we voted for. None of that. This is entertainment. That's what matters. But we do think it is important to vote. So we thought, we thought we might want to remember this day because, I mean, it's a pretty important day in history. But I decided to do a little vlog, so I did a bunch of clips and stuff. We went to a bunch of places. I also had some things I wanted to pick up today.
Yeah, it wasn't planned that I was part of the video, but I was in town anyway, so I went ahead and met you up in town, and we went ahead and looked for some things, and yeah, that video will probably be coming out soon. So keep an eye out for like a vlog, like kind of toy, thing movie hunt. So
yeah, I'll tell you what. So you'll see in one of the videos I tried to pick up a certain Blu-ray, but I think we can all collectively say yes, of course, physical media is dying in a way. Is it going to be gone tomorrow, next day, next year? No. But I think with this pandemic, man, stores in general, like forget about physical media for a second, stores in general just are not getting things in stock, and they're just like, I keep getting told like, oh, go online. And while I understand that, like, I'm trying to, keep the in-store experience alive in some way, or trying to, so they have jobs, and it's just like they're trying to force us to go online.
yeah, I'll agree. Just DVDs and just things in general, video games, everything. Just the stocks are just low in stores of the physical property, and yeah, everything's just gonna move to digital. That's only a matter of time. I think in the next 5 years, it'll be mostly, if not all, digital.
I'll tell you what, there was an article that came out, though, that said, like, people who buy their movies and stuff on Amazon digitally, like, Amazon came out and said, like, you don't technically own your movies.
Yeah, there was an article about that, but I have, like, and I agree it's kind of weird, because I do buy movies on Amazon sometimes, but I have it connected to so many different things that if it goes away on Amazon, I'll have it on something else. Because, like, I remember the Disney Movie Anywhere thing kind of ended, and then they just changed the Movies Anywhere, so I just transferred all their stuff to that. Like, if you own the movie, they'll do everything they can to transfer it to, like, be like, okay, well, you could have it on this service then, so.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit different on Amazon, because Amazon is kind of like a competitor when it comes to some of these studios and stuff. So the fact that they would take it away from there doesn't shock me. But, like, Movies Anywhere and iTunes, they're not gonna want to specifically, like, oh, we gotta take their movies that they bought, they purchased, like, so when it comes to that, I'd be like, hey, I bought this movie, why are you taking it away from me?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, that's why I don't feel too worried, because I'm still not giving up completely on physical media. There's some movies I have strictly on digital, but most of my main, really diehard love for movies, I have physical, so they can't get rid of that unless I lose it or I break it.
I'm a fan of getting the digital version with the physical version, because I don't like the idea of personally going and putting a disc in the whatever machine you're using, and then when you just have it already on and just go to the movie that you're downloading. I like the idea of having the physical version just in case, but so I like the idea of having both, and then you have your collection of physical. But I like having it both ways.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, like, I'm the same way. I most of the time I'm like, I don't want to get up and put this in. But a lot of people don't want to know. And, like, for the average person that just watches a movie, they don't care. But for somebody who really likes to enjoy movies, the best way still is to watch it on a Blu-ray disc, because you're not going to have any latencies with the audio. The quality is going to be better because it's coming off of a disc. Because when you're streaming, there can be dips in quality when you least expect it.
Depending on your internet and all that.
Exactly.
So I've had issues where the closed caption, because I watch everything with subtitles, but I'm weird. And then it doesn't work always too when you're streaming stuff, but it always works on the Blu-ray.
Yeah. So I mean, the best way to watch something is a Blu-ray. So that's still there. I mean, maybe if they fix it someday with digital, I feel like physical media will still be around for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, other than today, what have you been up to this week? What have you been watching this week?
So I've been pretty much still watching Lucifer. Caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm really enjoying that. That's it's a dark shonen, which I'm really liking. I originally, when it first came out, I played Horizon Zero Dawn, and I played like almost halfway through it, I think, and I just stopped. Of course, I'm not very good with finishing video games, but I stopped, and then, which I love that game. That was probably one of the first games that I really kind of just kept going through for a while. But I've been really wanting to get back into it because with number 2 coming out and it looks beautiful, I decided to delete my save data and just restart because it's a little. Because I knew there was no way I could just jump right into it because there's a lot of like you gotta farm stuff, you gotta meld stuff and all that kind of. So I decided to restart, and I moved my PlayStation into my bedroom. So I'm playing on my monitor, which I actually really like. I know there are some people that just love playing on a TV, but I think I actually do like playing on a monitor more. But it's just the sheer fact of like I like the big screen, and then too if we have friends over. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. And then really, I mean, there is one show that came out this week, but we'll talk about that a little later.
That's the main topic of the week. For me, I watched a few more episodes of Demon Slayer. I'm still not too far into it. I'm really enjoying it so far. Really, like I mentioned before, I don't remember if it was the episode that got deleted or not, but I started watching Demon Slayer, and then it was the animation is just beautiful in that show. Yeah. He just met his comrades, kind of spoilers for Demon Slayer, but that's where I'm at. He just met I'll just say the villain he just fought really liked to play the drums, liked to play the bongos.
He wanted his SoundCloud just, out in the world. But speaking of Demon Slayer, that movie it's just breaking every record.
Yeah, I just keep on seeing articles about it saying, breaks this record, break. To be fair, it has literally no competition right now, but hey.
But honestly, yeah, too. What would in Japan, like, besides maybe like a Marvel movie or something, what would really contend against it though? Right now, anyways, there's no really movie planned. There's no like DBZ movie or there's no Studio Ghibli or any like movie really planned right now. Anyways,
yeah.
So that would be the only reason why it wouldn't do as well. It just sucks that we have to wait. Like I would almost say. Like if you could technically get the movie over here on DVD and Blu-ray faster than it would be to maybe wait for the theaters, I would say go ahead with it. Like, but because there's just no telling when the movie theaters might open again.
Yeah. So yeah, I was watching Demon Slayer. I'm still chugging through Hunter x Hunter. I kind of slowed down a lot just because I'm at the part where it's kind of hard to watch, like that the Chimera arc. Like, lots of messed up stuff happens into it.
Oh, yeah.
The very beginning of it. And I'm like... I think I've gotten past that part now. Like, the worst of it. And then it's, like, getting more lighthearted again. So I'm like, okay, I'm, like, more apt to go watch it now. I'm rewatching Fairy Tail. I just got past the Battle of Fairy Tail with Loxus trying to take over the guild.
Okay.
So I'm been watching Fairy Tail. Yeah, I think that's about it. And I finally got to the third act of Ghost of Tsushima, so I'm almost done. I think after that, I'm gonna go ahead and play through Jump Force.
Speaking of video games, I think next week, right? The PS5 comes out.
Yes, I think it's either
the 13th.
Next week or a week and a half from now.
It's the 13th, so that would be...
Today's the 10 days, so yeah, a week and a half from now.
So a week and a half, yeah. And that's also the day the iPhone Pro Max goes on for pre-order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those were our two big topics of the episode that unfortunately didn't get to upload, but yeah, we were pretty
I'll tell you what. Like now, like as we're getting closer, I think without a doubt, Sony was just talking out of their ass when it came to their whole stock thing. Like, don't worry, we're gonna have more stock than the PS4.
Well,
This and that.
I heard that they're going to have more for Black Friday. I think they're kind of holding off on restocking stuff till Black Friday.
That is my big wonder because I was thinking about that. I'm like, man, well, they probably might have a limited stock for like release and maybe Black Friday. But then I'm thinking about it too. I'm like, well, if they do that, then that means we're not going to have another wave of pre-orders, and then maybe. But then again, too, then it's just like, well, if you're gonna have all the like, if you're gonna have all this stock for Black Friday, like, why don't you just do more pre-orders? But I don't know because if and then hopefully too they limit one per person when you buy in store. I can't see them not doing that because either that they know that they would be taking off so many people. But I do think at the end of the day though that they were wrong a little bit.
To be fair, I think they wanted to, but I heard that they're having problems with their chips and like shipping right now because of COVID and all the restrictions. I think honestly they probably would have done it all that if it wasn't for COVID. Like you got to remember for shipping and stuff, we are in a pandemic. Like it was even a topic of discussion. People were saying should they just wait till next year to release the PS5 because people were kind of afraid that they weren't going to be able to ship enough.
Well, see, and that's fine, but like they should have just came out and told, like we would have been fine with that. Like, hey, listen, yes, the stocks are going to be limited. We are not doing this out of spite. It's just because of the whole thing. But when they came out, like, don't worry about it. We're gonna have stock. You guys are gonna be fine. But then when that whole thing happened, and two, it is not 1,000% their fault due to the fact of like
retailers jumped the gun.
Retailers jumped the gun, but also too they gotta get on the like retailers like they gotta get onto them about that because like you can go to retail and be like, hey, listen, we're gonna stop selling it because honestly Sony could just sell from themselves
pretty much. Like Sony doesn't really have to do anything because they would have sold out anyway. Like the PS5 is gonna sell regardless. So
exactly. And like a lot of places are learning that they don't need these big retailers and stuff anymore to sell something. Like online, like people could just make their website or they can open up their own little store. But I don't know. I just think that they like if they just would have kind of been honest, and then too, like I said, if this year as a collector has proven anything, scalping is real this year. Like just resellers are just trying to get any buck they can.
Well, yeah, because people need money, so people are trying to make whatever dollars they can at the moment. Cause some people are struggling, but yeah. I'm looking forward to the PS5 eventually. I don't think I'm going to get one because, like I said, the biggest thing I wanted is Miles. And I already have that pre-ordered for the PS4, so it should be here for me November 12th. So that's why I'm trying to beat Ghost of Tsushima in the next week so I can play Miles.
I think I'm just going to say screw it. I might just go buy Avengers and play it on the PS4. When it comes to the release, I think if I find out, hey, they are going to have some stock on release, just be there early or whatever, I'll go there. And if I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe in line, I'm gonna go there right when the store closes too. Like I'm gonna pull an all-nighter, just because I think it would be fun for the experience. Like I've never done that before, and right now is the best time of any. And I'm up late anyways, so it's not gonna be like really that much of a toll on me. So if I can do it that way, I'll do it. If I don't get it that way, like if I get there in this huge line or they don't have or whatever, I'm gonna be fine with it because like I said, I think it's the start of the release, so of course it's gonna be popular. There's gonna be problems with the console, and then two, there's gonna be special editions that I'm gonna want more. So if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait till probably around the holidays next year to get one because I have such a back catalog of games I gotta play because I still want to play Kakarot. I still want, like, honestly, I got Super Mario 3D All-Stars I still want to play. I still want to go back and play Pokemon. Like, there's, on Switch-wise, and then, I still never played Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, so, like, there's just so many games. Like, I have such a backlog that I'll be fine until next year if I don't get a PS5. Then, again, the other thing we mentioned, also talked about last week, was the iPhone 12. Not really interested in getting one at the moment.
No, I've been seeing people review it. The Dolby Vision on the Pro is really cool. I mean, technically for us, since we do shoot all of our stuff on our iPhones,
Yeah.
I think it would help us. But like almost every YouTuber that I've watched has said, like, if you have an 11 Pro or Pro Max, there's really not anything, unless you're one of those persons that, like, they really don't care about not having their phone payment go away for a little bit or anything. Then yeah, do it. But I think I only have like $100 left on my phone. I might as well just pay that off and then just wait for the third, because I've heard like the 13 is gonna have the 120 hertz. It's gonna have a smaller notch, if not no notch, and it's rumored to be the first iPhone with no ports. So we could not see any wireless, so no charging port. So I just think that the 13 is like an SE, where the 12 is an SE, where the 13 is gonna be that new one. But I know a lot of people are really hammering for that the old design that's back, the square edges, which it looks nice. It really does.
It does look nice. Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you. I looked specifically the other night. I think I owe 133 still left on my phone, so I got 5 more payments left on it. So in 5 months I'll be fully paid off. And then if it'd be nice to go 6 months without making a phone payment. Have a few little extra money here and there if I don't really need one. So I think I want to wait till I upgrade to the next to 13 as well.
Yeah, I just think that, like, there was, like I said, there was a bunch of cool things that they did show. I did like MagSafe. I think that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, like the MagSafe thing, like they're just testing it out now, and it'll be like the main feature of the 13. So then,
yeah, and
so it'll be like the wireless charge. Boom, there you go.
Well, and so something I saw that that made me think that way was because. So one of the MagSafe chargers you can get is like a little wireless charging pad, and literally you just set your phone on it, and it snaps to it. But you can pick up your phone and still like kind of like use it like you were connected to a cord. Yeah. So I think that is somewhat of a way that they could possibly be going.
Yeah.
To the no ports. Now there is another Apple event that they just announced.
Yeah, it was called One More Thing. People were I saw that they're speculating their new chip they're gonna announce.
Yeah, I think without a doubt, it's not gonna be a new phone. It's not gonna be a new iPad or watch or anything like that.
They already did all that.
The best guesses are yes, they're Apple silicone chips. I think that's definitely gonna probably be a contender. The AirTag, they had a lot of things that they were gonna announce this year that are like really into production that they just didn't have time for, maybe. So like their AirTags, like kind of like their like Tile and stuff like that. Possibly their over-the-ear premium headphones that they've been talking about. I think that could be a possibility, and then too, maybe a new Apple TV, like, because they have the 4K version, which is the recent version, but a lot of people have been complaining that like they love their gaming service that they provide, the Apple Arcade, but the Apple TV, the processor that's in it doesn't run some games very well. Like they're very laggy and stuff. So if they're trying to really push their gaming service, they were talking about releasing an Apple TV with some new features, but also to have a chip to support the Apple Arcade.
Yeah. Also, speaking of the iPhone, iOS 14 came out. 14.1 came out today. My phone updated to it. It had like it's added like a lot of interesting things. Like it's kind of added like widgets. Like so that was interesting. I was playing around with it. There's like a new zoom feature now, so you can make everything on your screen a bit bigger. If you want to. It kind of bothered me because I tried it for a little bit, but because I'm just used to the standard size of stuff. But and then the other thing I noticed was a translate app, which I think is kind of cool. Like I think they added it because it was new to me. I was like, oh, that's cool.
That could be very helpful considering if you go somewhere. I mean, right now we can't really travel, but when we are ever able to travel again, having that like, oh gosh, what do I boom translate? Like that's actually a big feature that I think a lot of people could benefit from.
Yeah, so that was like the coolest thing I saw today. Yeah. Other than that, is there anything else you've been doing this week you want to talk about before we get to our main topic?
Not that I know. I mean, we had Halloween a couple of days ago.
I worked. My company had a costume contest. I went as Clark Kent. I didn't win, but because it was a pretty easy costume. But yeah, I did Halloween. Yeah, I just worked though.
I think the one like I do love Halloween. I would say it's probably one of my favorite holidays just because like I really love it. I love a lot of horror movies. But I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think with, of course, always living in Florida, the weather doesn't make it ever feel like Halloween. And then this year, like, I was working during Halloween too, but and I go to a lot of neighborhoods. I didn't see like barely anybody trick or treating, and then nobody was really participating in trick or treating either, and it was just sad. Like, I understand people are afraid of the virus, but there are so many ways around that. Like, you could just leave a bowl out there and maybe watch from the window if you wanted to, or just leave a bowl out there and say screw it. Like, if a kid takes all the candy, he takes all the candy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at work, so I didn't really get to see a lot of stuff. But yeah, there was costume contest. Like, there was a bunch of people dressed up at my job. So, like, for the adults, people were kind of partying, but not for kid-wise. I don't think it was that.
But so something, and you and me, we go to Universal quite often now because of that deal that they had. And of course, Universal had 2 haunted houses this month that they decided after a little bit to do for Halloween Horror Nights, which was pretty cool.
Was the Bride of Frankenstein and the Tooth Fairy?
The Tooth Fairy, which I think worked out really well. I think they could have easily done more, and it would have been fine. But Universal decided to do the stupidest thing. I don't understand why they did this, but on Halloween Day, they announced that they're, for 2 days or a weekend or something, they're going to do a limited time Beetlejuice house. Which, why have that? I could understand if you maybe did the Tooth Fairy or the Bride of Frankenstein for a couple of days, but if you were planning on doing this Beetlejuice house this whole time, you should have just done it through the whole thing. Like,
yeah, I think the reasoning behind it is they weren't planning on doing it, and then they were like, well, the the Frankenstein and Tooth Fairy haunted houses did actually fare relatively well. Like you said, they were just kind of testing the waters. And I think they were planning on having like a whole Halloween Horror Nights this year with Beetlejuice stuff, so they probably had the stuff for it. So they're like, well, we should try to at least do something with all the stuff we have. So they probably this last minute were like, well, what can we do? They're like, well, let's just throw a house together,
And I mean that's
probably what happened.
Understand that, but it's just like you tested the waters. They tested it at the beginning of the month. They should have known within a week or two easily. Like, okay, like we could do this. Let's for the last 2 weeks of October. Let's do this Beetlejuice house, and like they could have done it because people are like within like the first 10 minutes, virtual line was already at capacity for the whole day. So if you go there and you wanted to go see it, you couldn't. So it just you're ticking off more people, and it wasn't necessary. I would have rather either you just did it for the remainder of the end of the month, or just not done it at all at that point. Like, I'm being honest, like it is cool. Like some people got to experience it, but like why? Like that was a house I would have loved to gone to, and especially like on Halloween Day again. Like why? Just why? Like and then for people that rely on doing content for the theme parks, like I saw a lot of people that like they do theme park videos and like they couldn't even do it because they're like like it's already at capacity, like we can't even go see it. So it's just like it just seemed dumb.
Yeah, it was just a last minute unplanned thing is what it was, and it was I figured it's kind of obvious they just didn't plan it out until the last minute. But yeah, last time we went they already started having some Christmas stuff up, so I'm sure they'll have some holiday things going pretty soon for Universal. And we'll probably go and check them out and see what they got.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for the holidays. I think it's going to be very different this year, though. I mean,
I'm ready for Christmas after this tough year. But you watch the good old movies and Thanksgiving and so I'm ready to get into the holiday spirit here. But yeah, with that, I think our main topic of discussion this week, as you haven't guessed it yet, it's the Mandalorian. Mandalorian came back last week, October 30th.
Okay, so should we put a spoiler warning right here?
Yeah, I'd say. Well, I don't think I should. I'm gonna put it here just because before we get into it, this is gonna be full spoilers. So this is your spoiler warning right here.
Yeah, spoiler warning. If you have not seen the first episode of The Mandalorian, season 2, do not watch the rest of this video. Go watch the episode, then come back to this part.
Yeah. So you have been warned.
You've been warned. 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Boba Fett is in this episode.
Yeah, and if you're not like into the Star Wars lore, you don't even know that's him. So like, if you're not like big fans like us, like casual fans, I was watching my girlfriend, she didn't even know who it was. She was like, and she's just kind of a casual Star Wars fan. She's like, who's that? So I'm like, I was like losing my shit, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's That's Boba Fett.
That's Boba Fett. And then, because a lot of people, if they've just seen the Clone Wars, then some of them would think, oh, is that Jango Fett? Because that's the actor that played Jango Fett. We saw the live action through him, because Boba Fett in the originals never took off his helmet, so we never saw what he looked like. But then that gets kind of retconned and turned into him. But yeah, so he is alive. But let's just start this episode. Amazing. They started off with a bang.
Yeah, I was really happy with this episode, even from the beginning, the opening scene of he's trying to find another Mandalorian, or he's trying to find Jedi. He's he's just on this hunt right now, and then he kind of gets sidetracked in this. But this is the most video game episode of a show, because you're on this mission, your main mission right now is to get the child, Baby Yoda. I'm just gonna call him Baby Yoda, even though I know his name's the child. If it triggers you, I'm sorry, but. Baby Yoda, he's trying to find, the Jedi to return him to. So it starts off and there's I actually like seeing the guards, the Jabba's palace guards, we're actually fighting with those axes. Yeah, I thought that was a cool scene. I like to see the older stuff it's getting brought back to this new age where they can actually do stuff with them.
Yeah, it's cool that they're not a lot of people will argue that in Rise of Skywalker, it was too fan servicey and it wasn't done that great, or blah 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 blah. Where I feel really a lot of fan servicey kind of things are done really well in this show. And like I said, he now he's got his armor pretty up there now. He is a badass.
Yeah, I think he used most of his little OP missile things that come out of his wrists. I think he used them all later in the episode. But basically, to go through the plot of the episode quickly. He gets a lead that there's a Mandalorian, and on Tatooine, they go back to Tatooine in this town. He goes back to that lady that really likes Baby Yoda and the droids, and you can see that he's got character progression, and he lets the droids look at the ship this time. And then, because you see after, maybe, he learned to trust droids a little bit after the assassin droid helped protect Baby Yoda in the last season. So, character, growth for him. He went ahead and... they said, okay, here's where this person in Mandalorian armor is. He goes to this small little mining town, and we meet Timothy Olyphant, I believe the actor's name is. Mm-hmm. He's been in a few things. He was in The Office. That's what I most recognize him from most recently. But anyway, it's obviously it's confirmed at the end of the show that he was wearing Boba's armor. Mm-hmm. But I was I was 100% sure, but I was that could just be random Mandalorian armor. When he was wearing it, I was I think it's Boba's armor.
No, I was almost certain that it was that was Boba Fett's armor, because I think
I mean, now it is, but as when I first watched it, I was I don't know.
Yeah, because when he takes off the mask, I'm okay, that has to be Boba Fett's, because because when he shows that it's not Boba Fett, I'm okay, he got that from, and it's on Tatooine, it just everything added up, and I like that fact that it's not a lightsaber or anything. It's anybody could technically just take that armor, put it on, and
be pretty
strong. Because I mean, it's protection. Where a lightsaber, you kind of do need some training to really be deadly with it, to really know what to do with it. But I just like how his character wasn't too aggressive. Where he's just I needed to protect this town, because we all think that after the Empire gets taken down, everything's good. No. And some people were arguing when did the Empire take over Tatooine? It's well, it doesn't have to be 1,000 stormtroopers there to be occupied. But we saw in the New Hope when he was these are not the droids you're looking for. That was Tatooine.
Yeah, that was the Empire had a presence there at the very least. But anyway, it was just them trying to take over. It was just the mining colony coming in and trying to take over. But what I liked a lot about the armor is you didn't get to see it because the effects weren't that great in Return of the Jedi and Empire, but you actually see him use it as a scope. I like that, and you can see it better, and you can see him use the missile on the back as jetpack. He used it a couple times, and he just seemed way cooler in this armor. You actually got to see some of the extent of both two Mandalorians fighting together.
well, one Mandalorian, one guy
Well,
with
the
armor.
but yeah.
But yeah, no, you see how powerful they could be, and then two, I'm sorry, but like, so one of the big things in this episode is like he wants the armor back, and he's like, listen, I'll give you the armor back. You got to help me kill. What was it again?
The Krant or something like I can't pronounce it right, but it was called. It was like a Krant dragon.
Yeah, Krant dragon, and like this. So this thing, which we later find out, ate the Sarlacc.
Yeah, they're like it's an empty Sarlacc pit, so it kind of makes sense.
But like but they want to kill this thing because it's pretty much it's eating all their cattle, and then it's only a matter of time before it eats them.
Yeah, it eats the town, so they make an alliance with the Tusken Raiders, which is the first time I've ever seen the Raiders just not be like savage people, like that they can actually be communicated with. Like every time we've seen them so far, they just attack, or they're Anakin slaughtering them all, or they're attacking Luke. Like we haven't seen them in a capacity where they can actually communicate and ally with people.
And I think it's done really well too, because I mean the fact that like they're fear too, like they don't want to lose their cattle, they don't want to lose their people, so they're like, we got a common interest, like we can, and two, they still had some discrepancies between each other, so it wasn't just automatically friends and buddy.
Yeah, let's just work together. Enemy of my enemy is my friend, kind of thing,
Yeah, and then most of the time too, when you go like you're going through their territory, it's not the nicest people. It's not like just general folk wandering through the, town, and then, well, forget the stuff with Anakin. That's like a whole nother story. But yeah, it was really cool, just seeing everything kind of come together.
And this, I read an article about it, because it's kind of seemed familiar to me. But this is literally a mission in Knights of the Old Republic. So I like to see that it's all this extended universe stuff that they were probably planning to film somewhere else, but then got scrapped. So they're bringing it into the Mandalorian. Like even the part where they go through, they team up and they end up beating the Krant dragon, and it's beat the same way that you beat it in the game. You feed it, you blow it up from the inside, and then at the end you see the Tusken Raiders, and they're like get harvesting its meat and stuff, and then they pull out a pearl, and that's what was the reward in the mission for the game, was you got that like super expensive pearl for killing it. So it was like, I thought that was pretty great.
Yeah, I like too how we just take all like the property of Tatooine. It just all comes together really well. And like I said, when he's killing the drag, like that was so cool. Like you see it eat him, and then you're like, oh crap, like how's that? And he's electrifying so it doesn't chomp on him, and he flies out.
See, that's was that electricity he was using to get out, or was it all those missile things from his wrist? I thought it was he used the last of his missile things to get.
No, I think it was I don't think it was like strictly electricity that he was shooting out. I think it was like a weapon of like an electric force field.
Maybe
type thing.
But I kind of thought like just because the little missile things he has on his wrist are just kind of his get out of jail free card. Like whenever he's in a tough spot, he just uses that and then he instantly wins. So I thought it was their way of getting rid of the rest of his missiles, so he doesn't have that to fall back on anymore.
And another cool thing was, so wondering how that guy got Boba Fett's armor. It turns out like the Jawas found it. Probably because scrapped it. Yeah, probably, and then scrapped it, and then he traded it for he had like because he stole like some minerals
from the mining
for
facility. So it was kind of cool, like the story of Boba Fett's armor, and now Boba Fett sees that Mando has it, so they're obviously gonna interact sooner rather than later this season.
Yeah, and I mean that's a cool thing because like if anything, who's the one character that you could bring in the Mandalorian that would fit really well? Boba Fett. Like, I mean, that's the perfect character you could bring back, and I know a lot of people want him to be back, and I know the actor can do pretty well with him too. He's not super old yet, so
yeah, it's cool, and he does the voices still of he did it in the Clone Wars and in Rebels.
Yep,
he sticks around and even in the video games too. He does the voice of the clones, so he's like all in on being Star Wars character, or being his character in Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
but overall, I'm really looking forward to the season so far. We still have I know that Sasha Banks is supposed to be playing another Jedi in this. She was in the trailer. We have Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka. It's been confirmed. So we got Ahsoka still to pop in the show, and we got Boba Fett. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what pops up and how this expands the universe.
Yeah, I think I'm just surprised. Like this first episode, like you could almost argue like this could have been a season finale.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, it's you could tell that Disney really wants to focus on their streaming services. As we saw that article earlier, if they can't focus on movies right now, we'll put all of our money into streaming services, and it's been proven. You put money and like high budgets into these TV shows like your Game of Thrones and your Mandalorians, that they're gonna do really well.
Well, you put money and then you put somebody good under the helm of it too. Like they could give anybody all the money in the world, but if they don't know what to do and how to treat the property, then it could go bad. But they got a good team on the Mandalorian.
They have Jon Favreau, I think, is at the head of it now, and Jon Favreau started the MCU, so it's not like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's overseeing. He's not directing every episode and stuff, but he's like kind of like an overseer. He's like I would say
so is and him and Taika. Taika's been directed a few episodes too from Thor.
Taika Waititi is supposed to direct a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, but he directed a few episodes of Mandalorian as well. So you got some MCU people. You got a strong team that Disney knows that they did well for MCU stuff. So might as well have them help with Star Wars too.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for that first episode. Second episode should be out Friday. So
they come out every Friday, I believe. So yeah, we'll probably talk about episode 2 next week. But is there anything else you wanted to add before? Did you want to talk just briefly about One Piece since we're not going to do a video on it this week?
Yeah, if you want to, go check out. I did a reaction. I'm gonna be doing reactions every week. I know last week, like I said, we had that problem with the one video being too long,
and then never got to our actual One Piece review that we did for that week. So I've been out of videos for a long time on this channel. It's been mostly your reactions, and I think you had 2 videos that you did where one time the power went out, and then one you had a problem with your editing. So
yeah, but I'm getting everything kind of figured out. I'm getting things set in stone. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you want to check out the reaction, like I said, it was not a bad chapter. I know some people might get One Piece fans might get offended, be like, you hated the chapter. No, I just thought it was a lead up chapter or a filler-ish chapter.
Yeah, we're still just building up to chapter 1000, I think, and he's trying to stretch it along. The biggest thing this chapter was Yamato had her moment that was she was going to protect Momonosuke. She had a really cool attack, and she's like, I'm here to protect you. And we also had the biggest thing to me that happened this chapter is we have the greatest character in anime ever, the chicken guy.
Mm-hmm. He's Oda and some of his designs are wild.
His face was where the butt is in the chicken. The little definition of chicken butt guy is probably the greatest character in One Piece.
Yeah, no, I really like Yamato. I think like she might be one of my top waifus in One Piece right now already. But I just like the fact of I'm going for her for next Straw Hat, and I think that the title of the video for that reaction is I think her Straw Hat moment is coming up. I think
if she gets a sad backstory, then we know.
And I think that it's very possible, like I said, because she was Kaido's daughter, and that's another thing. She's going to be going against one of the Topiropo. I hope she doesn't wipe the floor with him, but I also hope that she doesn't just barely beat him with
almost doesn't
an
survive.
Inch of her life. Yeah, because she's Kaido's daughter. She's been not fighting to the death with him, but she's been scrimmaging with him her whole life. So she has got to be at a high level in power. And then 2, hopefully next week or the week after that, we will get to know what either she has a devil fruit or what her power is, if she has a special kind of hockey or if she's particular with a certain kind of hockey, but just something,
Yeah, we'll probably learn more about her. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't that, big, nothing like earth-shattering happened last chapter. So yeah, but with that, I think that's going to do it for this week's episode.
Yep. Also, just real quick, there is a break next week for One Piece, so there will be no One Piece review or reaction.
Gotcha. All right, so with that, I think that's going to do it for us.
Yep. We hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of The Mandalorian, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can let us know what you like so we can give you that good content. But thank you so much, and have a great day.